Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you're having an enjoyable day in what's been a very testing year. I thought I'd do a current up-to-date video for Christmas and just speak into how my Christmas day is as an expat. So I arrived in Phnom Penh, probably saying that wrong, 2 days ago. It's a capital city. This is the closest I've managed to find to any nature near me. And yeah, it's been a struggle. Like it's not an environment that is conducive to me. But yeah, it's Christmas Day. So there's no sign of Christmas here at all. It doesn't see, like the last country I was in, Vietnam, like there were Christmas trees everywhere. But I haven't seen any at all. Admittedly, I've not been very far, but I haven't seen any references to Christmas or anything like that. So yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like Christmas. It's strange. I've been feeling very nostalgic. I've been having a lot of childhood memories coming up around Christmas from family. I've been remembering last year, those OGs on my Not Today Satan channel will remember Kim and Christmas Day last year. And you know, just spending it with someone that you know and has been part of your life for a while, and it's a very strange experience. And so I've spent Christmas not necessarily alone, but away from my family for about a decade now. My sister and I don't get on. I mean, it's not, from my point of view, there's nothing, like it's just like how I see any NPC, you know, I'm not really interested. But from her side there's hatred, I think. And yeah, from her point of view, it's impossible for us to be in the same room. Hi! So, understandably, my parents choose to spend Christmas with her. I mean, I'm the black sheep, she's the golden child, she's got grandkids, and she's on the same wavelength as them. She's, you know, she thinks the same as them, you know, believes we live in a democracy and stuff like that. Doesn't, you know, doesn't try and shatter their world views and belief system every time they meet. So, you know, it's all very understandable and there's no hard feelings there. But because of that, I haven't spent Christmas with my family for, it's got to be the best part of a decade. But I have been in like community centres. I think that was like 3 years ago. And then last year I spent it with Kim and some random fat bird. Hey! And yeah, I mean, I've always struggled with Christmas. I've always struggled with family and fakeness, basically. You know, people not speaking their mind, NPCs, all that sort of thing. It's always been quite a struggle for me. But what's been really coming up for me is, you know, my dad's in his 70s. He might even be in his 80s now. My mum, I think, is in her late 60s. They both took numerous jib jabs. And it's like, how long are they even going to be here? Like, and what comes up with that, hey, is, you know, when they're gone, particularly my mum, oh, I might get a bit teary. There's no one. There's no one in this world for me, or no one in this world that cares about me. And you know, obviously I'm speaking on a certain level here. Like, I appreciate there's a lot of you that care for me and, you know, really help me, actually. You know, Pete, a big shout out to you. You're a big support. Jeroen is a big support. And then people like Cole in the comments and Simon. And, like, it really helps. It really does help. But obviously it's not the same unconditional love, acceptance and support that my mother gives me. And the idea of her not being in this world, like, it's just, even though we're not, like, in one way we are very close, like, there's a lot of love there, there's definitely a lot of love there, and we have fairly regular contact, but you know, we don't speak on the phone that often. It's more text messages. Because essentially we don't really have anything to say to each other. Like, we live in completely different worlds, and everything I want to talk about just isn't in her world, and everything she wants to talk about bores the shit out of me. So it's a difficult one, and I think we do really well to navigate that situation. Like, due to the mutual love and the mutual respect, you know, we do really well to have the relationship that we have. But yeah, so recently I've been feeling like I might fail on YouTube and this might all go wrong, and it's like, well, you'll go back to your parents' spare bedroom. What happens when that option isn't there? And like, we could literally be talking in the next 5 years. You know, what happens if everything goes wrong? And this could even be in 20, 30 years. I was thinking like, what happens if I run out of money when I'm 80 and have to go back to England? And what the hell will England be like then? Like, if you go into a government care home now, you get African carers. And I'm sure many of you have seen the videos of their care, abuse. Like, it's fucking scary. Really scary. And I feel like for the first time in my life, I've really been sitting with the feeling of what happens when the only person in the world, obviously there's two, there's my dad as well, but you know, I really respect my dad, and I'm not sure if that's the right word actually, I'm really grateful for my dad. Like, he has done his absolute best. And when I had that 6 months back in England and I was really struggling, I was in their spare bedroom, I'd failed at life, he was a massive support. Like, he, in terms of practical, you know, he'd give me lifts, he'd help me out. He can't offer any sort of emotional support, or because he's just not there. Like, he's a complete zombie. But you know, just in a boomer way. It's not. I'm not slagging him off. He's just a typical boomer that has never thought about anything. You know. So it really is my mum that I think about when I speak like this, because she's the one that, you know, there is some emotional support there. And credit to her, when we do speak on the phone and I go off on all my tangents about spirituality or what's going on in the world, you know, she holds it all really well. I imagine she's on the other end just thinking my son is completely mental, because it's impossible for me to understand how she could understand what I'm saying, because it's so not her world. But she seems to, and she does a bloody good job of pretending if she doesn't. But yeah, what happens when she's not there, when there's no one in this world that I can rely on, when there's no, because I don't have any friends. You know, I have associates, I have good people in my life, I have people I'm grateful for, like someone like Pete, for example. You know, I don't have any real friends. I can't really do friendship. I don't know how to do it. So yeah, it's mad. Yeah, so Kim, for example, who I spent, hang on, yeah, this is, yeah, I've just recorded 2 videos in a row, so I'm getting a bit confused. Kim, who I spent, like we don't speak anymore. And it's not, you know, we haven't fallen out or anything like that. It's just like, what do you speak about? And this is the thing, I was watching a channel I really like, something reality. Oh, I forget the name of it, but really good channel. And he was saying, like, he actually prefers speaking to NPCs than conscious people. Because, like, what do you talk about? I mean, I don't mean like speaking to any of them, but like, so obviously NPCs is just a nightmare. But you meet a conscious person, and what do you speak about? Like, okay, we both know the world is gone to shit. Are we going to dwell on that? Are we going to speak about our spiritual journey? I suppose Jeroen is the best example, really. Somebody I met recently out in Bali, you know, a very wise man. But eventually you still see it's all ego, and that's no criticism of him. It's just the human nature. You know, we're all trying to be something and trying to impress in a certain way. And at first I was very impressed by him, and then I saw the ego in his need to be the teacher. And I still really value him. We still text each other. I'm definitely going to see him again in my life. I'm really looking forward to seeing him again in my life. And actually, you know what comes up when I think about my mum not being in my life anymore and having no one to call in those desperate times? Jeroen comes up. You know, so I really think really highly of him and have a lot of love for him. But it's not my mum. It's not that unconditional support and love. And just practically, you know, my parents are by no means rich, but they are middle class. They're middle class boomers. So there's always that safety net there, you know, even if it's just going back to their spare bedroom. But there is also, you know, if I ran out of money, my mum would help me. You know, they wouldn't pay for me to be an expat for the rest of my life, but they'd help me get home, for example. So there's just that, you know, that security there. What happens when that's gone? I mean, I just don't know how I'm going to cope. Like, there's part of me that knows I'll cope pretty well because I'm very detached. and you know, I just see everything in this life as completely meaningless anyway. So this is the black and white that I was talking about, either in this video or the other video, and the spectrum that I now see, and everything's in the grey. So on one hand I think, oh, it won't affect me that much, I'm very detached. I already really grieved her passing a lot when she took the jib jab. You know, for me that was like, oh, okay. I actually thought it was worse than it's turned out to be. I still think it's really bad, but you know, I thought that was a death sentence within a year at the time. So I feel like I've actually already done quite a lot of grieving, and then just the way our relationship is, and you know, the family dynamics that I discussed earlier, there's already been a lot of detachment, you know. But then in another sense, I feel like I'll just crumble. There was a moment yesterday that reminded me of when I was in Rome. When I was in Rome, about, I think I was about 26, 27. So I hadn't travelled for 6 years at this point. I'd worked every day for 6 years building my business. And suddenly I realised I needed a break, and I went to Rome. And I had a breakdown. I had a breakdown in Rome train station. I just couldn't cope. It was just too much. It was overwhelming. And I rang my mum and I was like, I can't do this. Can you get me home? Embarrassing to admit. And yesterday, I felt those feelings again. I felt just this like despair and this like, what am I doing? I'm in a city that I don't know. How do I get out of here? Where do I go? What am I doing with my life? I just want to be home. I just want my mum. But you know, obviously I'm 10 years more experienced now. I've done a lot of traveling since then. And I know how to handle these moments, which is basically just being with them and knowing that it will pass. And it has passed. I feel much better today, and tomorrow I'm leaving this capital city, this concrete mayhem. Oh, I've just gone off on a whole thing there about my mum, which wasn't the intention of this video at all. The intention of this video was to share the difference of Christmas out here and being at home. But really there isn't much to say other than it doesn't exist. And it's a very strange feeling. Even though like I've not really celebrated Christmas for a long time, and you know, I've been very bar humbug about it all. My belief system is, you know, anything that's mass is essentially demonic, for want of a better word. You know, I don't think the Christmas we celebrate now is related to what Christmas is really meant to be about, whatever that is. And I don't know what that is, whether it's about a baby born in a manger, or whether it's about a pagan festival, or whether it's all about astrology. I mean, I think for me that's the one that's most likely, but I don't know anything. But yeah, very strange. I wonder how it would have been like if I was in Bali. You know, I think certain cafes in Ubud would have had Christmas trees and would have celebrated it, you know, more touristy cafes. And just being settled, you know, not only am I in a different country, I'm in a city I don't know, that I'm not enjoying, in a pretty horrible apartment, just surrounded by concrete. This is the best place that I've found. So yeah, whether it was Christmas or not, I'd be feeling funny today and a bit shit today and a bit lost and disorientated. But the fact that it's Christmas Day as well, yeah, it's just like, what is going on with my life? Like, and again, the spectrum. So in one way, I'm like, my life, I'm experiencing all these different countries, wow. But in another sense, it's just like so, what's the word? Not meaningless. So ungrounded, so up in the air all the time, constantly moving, not having a fixed abode, not having any sort of community or friendship circle around you. It's crazy. So that's my Christmas Day. I really hope you're enjoying yours. Whatever that looks like, whether you're alone or you're with family. I really hope you're getting a day that serves you and gives you what you need. I did a video on Not Today Satan yesterday of the Italian Prime Minister saying something like 2025 has been terrible, but don't worry, these are the exact words, this last bit, don't worry 2026, oh no, next year, don't worry, next year is going to be much, much worse. Fucking hell. And we all know it's going to be. Not quite sure what they've got planned, but I think they've got some real stuff planned for 2026. but I think mass world war is probably very likely. So yeah, how that will affect me as an expat, I have no idea. And the whole conscription thing, like that looks like it's coming in. Like, if I refuse to go back and be conscripted, will they cancel my passport? All these like fears and all this craziness is coming up. But yeah, what I was trying to say there, again, I went off on another tangent, shock, was enjoy your day. Lots of love. Thank you to everyone who has supported me on this channel over the last 8 months, I think it is. On Not Today Satan, maybe over the last 18 months. And then on the Broken Mirror, which I really want to start doing more of. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for all your support. And making this way of existence possible, even if it can be a nightmare at times. Hey! But it is lovely to be surrounded by friendly people. And that's what you get in Southeast Asia, like, just so friendly, it's unbelievable. Alright. Big love. Merry Christmas. Oh, we have a Christmas tree. Oh, I'm feeling so Christmassy. Yeah, so I should mention, I decided to do a present day video. I thought it'd be nice to connect with you all on this day that offers mutual connection. I'm really not enjoying the fact that my footage is in the past. I think it definitely takes something away from the channel. So I'm gonna stop recording for a while at some point and allow the footage to catch up. But yeah, just to clarify, this is obviously a present day video. It is Christmas Day, and then tomorrow I'll go back to sharing my Bali journey, which is a few weeks in the past. But it is my intention to get the footage back up to date almost with my life, because I just think it makes it a bit more interactive and people can offer me recommendations and stuff like that, which is really helpful. So yeah, that's my intention, and that's what this video was, just for anyone that's wondering. See you tomorrow in Bali.